Welcome to the Makers Misfits podcast. I'm your host, Corbin Tyson. I started this podcast because I wanted to talk to people who are makers and people who are misfits. My guest today is my longtime friend, Tom Cicura. We met 19 years ago with me accusing him of being a liar. He told me that he was a DP working on movies like Ocean's 13 and Batman. And I thought there's no way that someone living in Rockford, Illinois could possibly be working in the movie industry like this. Fast forward to us becoming great friends. Tom owns Second Cine, and he's a cinematographer, problem solver, and one of the hardest working people I know. Tom's story starts on the south side of Chicago, where his mom literally found his first film job in the phone book. From there, he built a career behind the camera, working on major productions and eventually launching a company that keeps the Chicago film industry running. We talked a lot about a lot of different things, but we talked about how the business has evolved and the beauty of solving problems under pressure and what it really takes to survive and stay creative in a business built literally on chaos. Tom goes on and he talks a lot about his perspective on patience, discipline, and uncertainty, and how he built his entire operation around systems and efficiency, and why he believes that tinkering is the secret to creativity. This one was a fun one for me, and it felt like the countless conversations that we've had when Tom texts me and asks if I need to make a Menards run, which is our inside joke to meet for beers. It was deep, funny, and brutally honest as we looked at the people behind the lens, the ones who make everyone else look good. So let's dive right in.
How on earth did they make this?
The people who are successful at it, they're willing to just live in that uncertainty for a long, intolerable amount of time that feels like it's destroying your life.
Repeat after me. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion.
The Makers Misfits podcast.
I should do it under it?
Yes,
Yeah.
we under it. I ask anybody that is in the biz, does your shot look all right? Is there any lighting that should change?
No, I don't care. That makes perfect sense.
When I was trying to figure out what to call this thing, and then I came up with Makers and Misfits, you fit that perfect.
It's kind of funny. I was thinking on the drive over here, again, we've known each other a really long time.
Yeah.
We've grown up together in this business in a way, we are woven together, so to speak, in life and these conversations that we have all the time. So it's great to have a microphone because I've always wanted to capture them.
I know.
Yeah, because they get deep and we go places that only you and I kind of understand. We have our conversation is always ongoing. It pauses, but then when we see each other, it just picks right up again. And it's always like, oh yeah, oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think last time we were together, I was like, it's really great because I hadn't seen you in months. And it was like we just pushed pause and then we didn't even say hello. We just started talking about war stories of the business.
Yeah, and it's I don't have a lot of people like that in my life, so you're a special friend, and I appreciate these conversations.
Somebody asked
me
the other day how long we've known each other, and I always say, how old is Oakley?
Yeah, he's 19.
19.
So yeah, 19
because I remember you were in my kitchen and you got the call. I was like, oh shit, he's being born right now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there you go. That's for the audience there. That's like a genuine story.
Yeah.
So on the drive over, I was thinking we have so much to talk about, like how, and I know you're a great interviewer. And so I'm going to just try to steer you and make you do what I want instead of what you want to do.
Perfect.
Because it's misfit is the biggest. That's basically what a misfit is.
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be misfitious.
Yes, please do. So your company, what do you guys do over there?
So I grew up in the media business, for lack of a better word, from making stickers and band pamphlets, for but I grew up around a lens and media and always pursuing that. But what Second Cine is a result of experience working in the business that found a solution to a problem. Basically, that's what it is. It was also opportunity and timing, because technology was changing, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. But what I learned was that companies need media and they need content, and what they need to do that is a camera, light, a sandbag, a shop, an apple box, a truck, guys, hands with gloves who know how to work it all.
Schlepp it.
Schleppers, movers.
What's that?
We call
Annie
them.
Leibovitz. She says that photography is 10% creativity and 90% moving furniture. So if shit hits the fan, you could just
100%.
be a furniture mover. You know?
So in the early days of the Red One and of my career, this new camera came out and everybody could buy one.
Yeah.
And that was crazy, because before that, no one was rich enough to buy a camera.
Right.
But this camera kind of changed that, and everyone went out and bought one. But not everybody.
What do we say? You have to know a trust fund baby that's at film school.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone that was doing what I wanted to do was kind of like, just from a different economic standpoint than I was. Born and raised on the south side of Chicago, and kind of like definitely an odd duck wanting to be a cameraman in a town of firemen, paramedics, cops, carpenters, bricklayers.
Because wasn't your dad and your brother union guys, right?
Yeah. Actually, that was one of the saving graces, is that there was actually a cameraman's union. Oh. That was one of the only things I could sell my family on, this crazy concept of wanting to, hump around cameras for other people for the rest of my life. So
What was that?
That's what we did.
What was that story about? You were watching a movie, or your mom was watching a movie, and then you looked up a location scout's phone number in the phone book.
God, yeah.
Because that was like your first gig, wasn't it?
So, okay. Wow, you want to go there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, deep.
I love
That's
that story.
Deep. Yeah, my mom was a big, advocate. She did support this idea, and she wanted to help in any way that she could. And so one day, she's just sitting at home on a Sunday reading the Daily Herald, I think. It's like a South suburban.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the newspaper.
Yeah. And there was an article about this guy who runs this arts program, and they create murals and paint them on the undersides of bridges or on big walls in the South Chicago area. And in the end of the article, it just happened to say that he also works in the film industry as a location scout, and his name, and my mom was like, I'm going to find this guy. And I mean, and this is way before the internet.
Right.
This is, and so she did, she found his address, and she wrote him, and this is like using the white pages, I imagine, or calling 411 or 555-1212, and like paying 49 cents or something for information to like get a phone number. And so anyway, then she wrote him this long letter about how, I really wanted to go to film school, and how I got, accepted to film school, but my financial situation and family situation kind of prevented me from going. So if there's anything you can do to help them get a foot in the door, or some advice or direction, please help them out. And put it in an envelope, wrote the name and address on the outside, put a stamp on it, and she mailed it off into the universe and to see what would happen. And he replied. He read the letter, and he called my mom and said, send him over for an interview. Just let me talk to him. And so I drove down to the South Chicago, underneath the big giant sky bridge in South Chicago, and it's like a steel mill kind of town. And
where they filmed Batman.
Right? I mean, was filmed a lot of things. Yeah. So anyway, he gave me an interview. He talked to me. He liked me, and he just happened to have just landed this movie that was filming in town called Judgment Night, and he took me in as his production assistant, and I just followed him around and did what he said, and drove all over town and took pictures of things and learned how they made location folders, because again, there was no computers, there was no internet. Location databases were literally manila envelope file folders with still photos taped together, like that you'd print out at Walgreens or a photo mat, and then so you'd stand there, take a picture, move 10 steps, take a picture, move 10 steps, make a picture, then take your roll to Walgreens, have them printed, then lay them all out, and then you kind of figure out a way to fold it into the manila envelope so that it would fit in a filing cabinet. And then you'd have filing cabinets just full of all these actually probably amazing photography.
Oh,
like
I would love
street
it.
photography.
I wonder if anybody has those.
They exist. The state of Illinois has like huge filing cabinets. I mean, I'm sure there's been digitization and whatnot, but there are location managers in Chicago. This is a good question. We should put this to just see some of that amazing street photography that's out there from location scouting. It was really cool.
Feel like a little time capsule almost. Too.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They kind of expire because the place changes hands, but some of them don't. Like some places have been the same for 50 years. So anyway, that was kind of my literally foot in the door story. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
she was a great lady.
Yeah, she always would find a way to help you however she could.
Yeah.
Like that was her thing. Yeah. Whether you liked it or not.
that is true.
That's a mom,
That's
right?
True.
Yeah.
No, your mom is the best.
So anyway, she got me that opportunity. And then, I always even the first minute I stepped onto set, I was like, that camera is so cool. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
And
it was like the size of this table.
Yeah. And a big, silent sewing machine that moves film and focuses lenses and made with amazing tolerances and precision tools. And I was mesmerized. I fell in love. Now I had been doing photography since sixth grade, and thanks to my amazing junior high science teacher, Mr. Phil Block, who we had a dark room. We had Canon AE1 cameras with 70 to 200 mil lenses, and we had a newspaper and a yearbook, and the photography came from the students. And so, after school, we get our rolls of film and go into a black room and put them in the canister and pour the chemicals in, shake them up, watch the timer, make sure the temperature's right. And, that magical process of putting the paper into the developer and seeing a black and white image appear on paper, I was like, this is so effing cool, dude.
At my kids' school, all my kids have taken photography. I made them. And they have one of the last dark rooms in all of Illinois, in northern Illinois or something. And so all the kids have gone through it with my dad's old AE1, which is the Canon AE1 is what I learned on.
Classic. I mean, a tank.
Yeah. And it still is perfect.
Yeah.
He had two of them, a black one and then the silver with all the filters and like the honeycomb diamond
the
filters.
star filter.
Yeah.
The 9-point or 6-point. What is it?
Actually, yeah, look at that. That's actually one of my dad's. He had a business. It was called Creative Photo. Look at his business card there.
Wow, that is creative.
Yeah, he took pictures of barns, and then he would take scrap wood and make the frames.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's pretty nice actually.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, the AE1. It was funny because Audrey, she just took it this year, and so I was showing her, how the light meter works.
Yeah.
So she's clicking it, and then I was like this. She's like, "How come I can't see the picture?" I was like, "Well, you're gonna learn." But what a great way to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. You learn how important that little meter is, and you learn where all the buttons are without having to look, and you learn everything in manual. Or I would use aperture priority.
Oh yeah,
because I knew what it was.
Or we learned the hard way by developing a whole roll and then being like, $12 out the door.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
$6 or
exactly.
whatever
Yeah, it was hard earned $6 back
Everything's
then. I mean, I think
blurry and
minimum wage
streaked.
was $2.75.
Yeah.
So yeah, and as that actually was a great motivator. Having only like 36 pictures on a roll and knowing it's going to cost me $12 to see what's on the other end of this is it teaches you discipline of timing. And that's what I am from the south side of Chicago. You just heard it there. Timing. But that was like a very appreciative, like, okay, I got 36. Okay, I got 12 left. All right, I got 4 left. All right, change.
Yeah.
And making sure those settings were right and making sure your meters were lined up, and then color is a whole nother thing that kind of zaps you once you figure out the basics. And
or depending on who was developing that.
Oh yeah, oh my God, no doubt. Yeah, if you found a good developer or someone who had an eye,
It's crazy.
you're
that
hooked.
We trusted the guy at Walgreens to color correct our photos. Essentially,
No.
I
I would ship mine down to Southern Illinois because I was
Really?
on a job, and I was down there, and I just happened to have another roll of film that I need to get developed, and I'm in the small town, and I go to this place I've never been before, and they printed these pictures, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then just they knew what they were doing. I mean, there was it is an art to it.
Yeah.
And
remember that. Remember
I would
when
ship them there.
Woodman still
all the
did
time.
film, and they had it down there.
Woodman's did?
Yeah, with the borders.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
prefer that over like Lundgren's or
Yeah, full
Cinematographer.
frame. You got to see the full frame. Show me the full frame.
It was awesome. Until I got a scanner. I worked a job and they had a drum scanner, so then I would just get the negatives, put it on that drum scanner, it literally was the size of this table, and it would spin like a lathe. And then this little thing, it would take 15 minutes for one negative, to scan it into the computer.
And you're probably getting like a 4
3
megapixels.
megapixels. I mean, if that, yeah. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I pulled this quote. It came across my Instagram, and I thought of you because I knew we were going to be doing this. But Roger Deakins, one of the greats, maybe a little over.
Who's he?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber. No.
Yeah.
He says this. He says, good cinematography should be invisible. It's the tool that tells the story. If people are commenting on how great cinematography is, then they didn't do their job correctly. What is your philosophy when it comes to being a cinematographer?
The story is first. It's first and foremost. Sometimes, and opportunity is also equally to be respected. So sometimes things just happen, and you got to be aware and ready at all times, and because
You mean like opportunity of how the light's hitting, or the opportunity of getting the job?
yeah, both. I mean, every shot's an opportunity, right? So, but the story is the driving factor, and then your director's wishes are the second, because maybe there's something he knows that you don't, and it's whatever he says goes. And usually there's a bigger reason, like that not everyone needs to know. So, and sometimes it's just connecting the pieces A to B and getting the things that you need, being efficient. And sometimes something's worth waiting for, and sometimes something's not worth waiting for. And being a good judge and a juggler of those priorities is kind of the key.
I remember one time you took me, when we first met, you took me on, what was the name of that movie? It was John Malkovich and John Goodman.
Oh, Drunkboat.
Yeah, Drunkboat.
Yeah.
And they were, I think, 37 takes on that kid blowing the candle out.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because the candle wasn't flickering right, you know? So I
There were
think
things.
to add to your thing, I think there's an element of like extreme patience and stubbornness that comes with what you do, at least.
Yeah. Movies are a little different because like some things are just super important for the story. So that candle, the flicker, and that moment, and his look, and you're dealing with a kid, and what else, balloons and dogs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And but it was important because that was a critical moment of the story, that all of these things needed to happen in this particular take. And those are great challenges. Everyone in a crew loves like something that gives them a challenge. Like, cinematographers especially, like, and sometimes simple is the best, and that's like mastering that is kind of like a great art.
Yeah.
Mastering the simplicity of what needs to be done.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Deacon's movies that he would comment on, he's done some jobs, but
yeah, I'm gonna look him
simple,
up. He's on IMDb.
IMDb, yeah, you heard of it?
I've heard of him.
I'm on there.
On
My only movie credit on IMDb is Newsbiz that
Oh.
you and I worked on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh man, that was a great. That story was ahead of its time.
100%. What was the premise? Was like basically a scandal at a news station.
It was basically an advertiser of the news station was doing dirty deeds, and the
right.
news station wanted to do a story because they found out and was going to leak this big story, and it got squashed from the top because, hey, they're one of our biggest advertisers.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
I'm still waiting for my residuals check on that one.
Yeah, Carrie Devine.
Because I think he probably threw us both in a scene at one point.
Oh, I'm sure I was an extra at some point in that movie.
That was fun.
That
a
was
fun
oh
weekend.
man,
Yeah.
it was. I mean, it really was ahead of its time, and for what we were doing in Rockford on a shoestring budget,
was
we
great.
we had
That conference room we shot in was
some
immense
cool locations
Yeah.
in Rockford. That location was cool. That was like
you remember that actor that was like either severely hungover or drunk?
He was. Well, that scene was supposed to happen somewhere else, and they called him in, and he'd already been on the boat, so he was 10 shades darker.
Right.
His suntan was like totally like different from 10 minutes ago in the movie. Like and I think the boat and sunburn created a hangover situation the next day, but it was a cool scene.
It was.
Yeah.
So obviously the industry has changed a lot over the last decade, 20 years,
15,
even 5
15
years.
minutes.
15 months.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen as a working professional?
Well, there's just more of it, tons more. It just seems to me like the floodgates have opened, and there's more media and more content demand than there's probably people able to deliver it. and the technology is keeping up with that demand too, which is crazy. And it's just, I think I think all these influencers and young people on the videograms and doing their blogging and vlogging are understanding and have great respect for a crew of a professional sound man with his, cart and bag of tricks, and a professional cameraman with his lighting bag of tricks and lens bag of tricks and camera motion bag of tricks. And then on top of that, it's just a grueling workload. Like, you really have to keep doing it. And however, then those hours add up, and then all of a sudden things get easy, and perfection is more obtainable, and you become less aware of the tools and more aware of the story and now when I say story, you're bringing up Deacons. Yeah. I would love to have those scripts. I mean, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm working with over here? You know what I'm squeezing? I don't have the Coen brothers crafting gold parchment that all I have to do is blow into the wind and everything just lines up.
Yeah.
I don't have like that cast of actors.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with human beings who have never seen, like, what is that? A camera?
Yeah.
And
I always joke that the slogan of my company should be making the untalented look talented for 20 years.
Wow.
That
is gold. That is gold. Yeah.
Right?
Because what exactly we do is, like, what I am is an alchemist. Or not, like, is that the right word?
I think so, yeah.
I
would agree with
coal and make it look like gold.
Or a turd.
Yeah.
Make it look like a diamond.
Hey, take this coal. Cool coal. What do you want to say about it?
Yeah.
It's gold. How about brass? Brass is a good color for what we got going on here. Yeah, because there's challenges, there's limits, there's constraints, and there's reality, and there's the overall goal, the main point. What are we doing here? Why are we all here together? And how much time we got? Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And then that's where the creativity and the experience and the having fun with it. Like, I get topics that are maybe not fun.
Yeah.
But I'm still having fun because I'm like, well, how am I going to make this cool? Or how am I going to make that look nice? Or how am I going to get this person to help me here?
Yeah. That's why I love corporate video, because I'm home by 5.
Yeah.
6.
Don't tell everybody.
No, I love
things. This is our secret little
that's right.
society.
Yeah,
we don't need anybody getting wise.
Well, no, you were a big part of steering away from going into the film industry for me.
Dude.
Because you and I would go, I'd go on jobs with you, and I was like, this is really grueling. This is
The weather of Midwest.
4 a.m. call times, and then you're shooting till 2 a.m. and then sleeping in the truck because we live an hour from Chicago, and it's like, woof, it's rough. And then I would go on these corporate gigs, and I was like, home by 6, and I was like, I think I really love this, because I think
a $75 lunch.
I think in order to do the line of work that you're in, when you're working on all the Chicago shows, like Chicago Fire, PD, all those shows, right? It takes a level of tenacity to at least get to that level, and a level of ambition that some people just don't have, including myself. I wasn't that passionate about it. And so I wonder what you would say to like somebody that wants to get into the business. Like, what would it take to break in now, as a crusty old veteran?
God, I don't even know, honestly.
Yeah.
No, though, like, that's the great thing is in Chicago, there's a lot of these shows, and there's a lot of opportunities, and they have a demand for people that know what's going on, and they're also great places to learn how to do what we do. And there's a beautiful kind of funnel that gets everybody to where they're going. And thankful to the state of Illinois and the governor and these tax incentives that have made Illinois a competitive playground for these types of jobs and these opportunities. And because of that, so much more opportunity and so much more is going on. And so there's demand.
Yeah.
So breaking in is about being serious and understanding that basically this is a business and you're the owner and you're the product and you're a service, and getting to asking questions and being involved and making your face known, and taking small opportunities, putting your name out there. I mean, it's the way it's changed. Just to like I used to have to go around like downtown Chicago and knock on doors and ring doorbells and hand out my resume. I can't believe I used to do that. And it worked. Like I totally got jobs and I got in the door and like got to meet people. But yeah, that was like, you have to sell yourself. You have to be the marketing department and the tax financial department and the strategy, everything. Yeah. So it's a business. That's really I think the overall point is that you have to organize yourself like you're a business.
Yeah.
So be and pay attention to all the things because there's no one really to help you. So you have to kind of do it all.
Well, I don't know about that. I think once you prove yourself, there are people willing to.
At the beginning, you're talking about someone starting out, like
not an official apprenticeship, but there are. I mean, when I first met you, first of all, I was like, you called me, and I was like, it was like a voicemail, and it was like,
I just kind of reached out to you.
I just got done shooting.
I cold called you.
Ocean's 11 or 12, and I've just moved to Rockford. I'm looking for people to connect with, and I remember being like, bullshit. There's nobody that lives in Rockford that's working on these big movies.
Yeah.
And so then we met, and I was like, holy shit, this guy knows his stuff. And I called you the next day, and I was like, hey man, I'll come over and sweep out your truck. And you're like, okay. So I don't know if you remember this, but you called me at like midnight because you got home late.
Yeah.
I came over, swept the truck, and I was like, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? I was like Rain Man.
Yeah. And for me, it was just kind of like the middle of my day. So I wasn't I was like, oh, I'm going to help this.
And then you were like, hey, we're doing this bank commercial. You want to come and be a grip? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I called you, I think the night before or something. And I go, dude, I don't know what anything is. And you were like, okay, just wear this walkie-talkie. You gave me an earpiece. And when I tell you to go get something, don't let the director see that you don't know. And when you go out there, I'll tell you where it is. So the guy literally was like, we need a Gary Coleman. And I was like, got it. And I just ran because I was like, I don't know anything, but I'm going to outwork everybody.
See how genius that strategy is? Like, it was perfect.
I was like, Tom, what's a Gary Coleman? I just remember different strokes.
Yeah.
Do they still call it that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So you were like, okay, it's the one on the left. It's up here. And,
it looks like this. Yeah.
And then you remember that job we had they told me I needed to trace the windows.
Trace the windows. Yeah. Trace the windows. The look on your face was priceless because you really were like, what is trace the windows? I have no idea.
What is trace the windows for those that are
so
listening?
It's putting tracing paper, which was these large rolls of vellum 1000H for you paper nerds out there. And we'd get fresh rolls and then tape it up onto the window on the outside and on the and then blast light through it. And on the inside, you had this like heavenly glow of outdoors. And it looks beautiful, really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was 35 millimeter.
That was a 16 millimeter job.
Yeah.
And I think those guys came from Iowa or something in a trailer with their grip and lighting stuff.
The generator, I remember.
Yeah. I think they came from Iowa. What was their name?
The longest dolly truck I've ever built. And it was that whole sidewalk.
Yeah.
Out in front of
it might have been only like 30 feet.
It's a better story.
Oh, I mean, 30 feet.
That's the longest I've ever been on.
Yeah. I mean, it was all of it. They brought whatever they had, and we put it all together, and like not a lot of wedges. I think.
I mean, the job it wasn't even a job. I was making like skateboarding videos essentially, so it was like pretty awesome to me.
Yeah,
it was like, whew, this is fantastic.
But we got along, and you were right. You were willing to do it.
Yeah,
like, I totally took advantage of you. I like totally took advantage of you.
Yeah, 100%. I think you didn't even pay me.
You got paid.
I don't think so.
I think you got like $350.
I will say the one that was my favorite though was when you had me come on a Heineken commercial.
Oh yeah,
and
Kenneth Yoder.
That one you definitely didn't pay me. I know that.
No, I didn't get paid on that one either. That was for fun. That was all for fun.
And you, so I get there. I think you just had me as like a grip, right? And so, or I was assisting you, or camera assistant.
Yeah, you were like camera assistant. Yeah.
And then, actually, I think you were friends with me because I had a DVX 100. You know,
I was.
So I'm busting my ass again. That's like something my dad always taught me. He's like, if you don't know what you're doing, just outwork everybody and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And so I was just busting my ass. Nobody would look at me. No one would talk to me. No one would look at me. And I was getting so like, what the heck? Like, they must know that I suck. So we had a break. And if you remember, they brought the crew and the cast like Heineken, and we were just all drinking the whole day. And I said, Tom, nobody will look at me. And you're like, oh yeah, I told them that you just got out of prison and that to not look you in the eye because you have anger problems. And I was like, you motherfucker.
Oh man. Well,
it was great.
That's a good phasing, I guess.
It was great.
Yeah.
I told Max is 21 now and going to school, and he's like, how did you get work? And I told him that story. I was like, you just go do stuff for free, and you just go and outwork everybody because that'll win over talent any day.
You get exposed to it, you get to see how other people do it, and you get your face and name out there. It's part of the self-promotion, I guess. But I mean, I would say it's definitely not an industry that it's handed to you, you know. You're hired and fired like, oh my God, I've been fired 4 million times.
Yeah.
Like, so no job is guarantee or is going to last or is nothing lasts forever. And it's just building relationships, and other people are just like you. They're out there. That's kind of like the greatest thing is to all of a sudden you find, oh my, there's these other people out there just like me who think this is cool too. And they do this and they know more than me, and they are willing to kind of like share a little bit and bring you along on with them as they grow. You grow too. Yeah. And so all of a sudden time passes and you're like, wow, we both started here and now we're both here. Yeah. And
my greatest client ever the other day, they were like, how long have you been doing stuff for us? And I was like, it's going on 13, 14 years. That's a good
we're old, dude.
Working relationship.
I get some grays in the beard.
Oh, I'm covered.
Wow. We have daughters.
The thing I bring up with almost every guest on my podcast, because, well, so far it's only been 3, but I think in order to do what we do, I heard this term that is perfect. You have to have a high tolerance for uncertainty. Talk to me about navigating those times of uncertainty.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of uncertainty, I guess, but
like, does it get less over time?
No, it doesn't. Uncertainty is kind of the thrill of it. It's like it's the rev of the engine. It's the motorcycle underneath your legs. It's the uncertainty is what propels you to the next step and to make the next choice and to wake up early and to put the boots on and to sharpen the knife. That's kind of motivator.
Yeah. I think too, if you don't kind of thrive in that chaos, then you probably shouldn't do what we do, because I also am, when I'm directing especially, and there's just everything's coming at you this way, that way, this way, and at the end of the day I'm exhausted, but I'm like, God, I don't want to do anything else. And so I weirdly like that uncertainty.
It's definitely
I don't like it when it's too buttoned up.
It's a bizarre form of Stockholm syndrome. I think
maybe.
Yeah.
And also, in order to do this, I think that especially when you're starting out, there's a ton of resistance, both literally of like trying to get work, trying to pay your bills. But there's also resistance, I think, in any creative endeavor, and especially in creative business. You know, there's imposter syndrome. There's times where the ideas, for me, just aren't flowing. But Stephen Pressfield, he has this book called The War of Art, which is the greatest book ever. And it's like this big. I love it. But he says, resistance will come as a voice in your head. It will reason with you like a lawyer, or jam a 9mm in your face like a stick-up man. Resistance has no conscience. It will pledge anything to get a deal, then double-cross you as soon as your back is turned. When you experience resistance from a creative standpoint, or to me, creativity is solving problems, right? And you're going to come up against that resistance. You're going to come up against restraints. How have you fought that resistance in your career?
Well, let's see. That's an interesting question.
Whiskey.
Yeah, I was gonna say lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Just you get like high on not sleeping, and then just like, I'm just crazy enough to do this. You know, there's the reward of the paycheck, but I think for us, like that's not the goal really. It's the reward of the accomplishment. It's a reward of the camaraderie. It's a reward of fighting nature a lot of times. And endurance, what can I endure? Especially, you know, the funny thing about our business is like, yeah, a job may only be like 2 days, but you may have another job that's only 2 days right immediately after that. So if this one job like starts at 6 p.m. and goes till 6 a.m. and the next job just happens to start at 7 a.m., well, what do you do? And a lot of times the answer is you go, dude, you do it.
Yeah.
Get it done. So, you know, there's situations I've been in like that a lot. I mean, there's like polar vortex and freezing all of your equipment, and you're 4 hours to the next cheese factory. And what happens when you walk in the cheese factory? Steam and water and humidity, and everything is negative 30 degrees and made of steel. It just creates chaos.
I shot literally the Cheese Whiz factory.
Oh, fun.
That smell and that steam is very familiar.
Yeah. It gets all over.
We filmed there, and then
lenses.
like the next day after we were done filming, somebody died in a forklift accident, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Because that place was a
little
rough.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
yeah, we see a lot of interesting places. That's another part of
Yeah.
the love of this job, is kind of where we started with those location folders and looking at places in a totally different way. When I look at an exterior of a building, or when I walk into a room, I immediately like see, all right, I put the camera over here. I put the camera over here. I'd light from there. But you walk into places where it's majestic as you walk in. You're like, wow, look at this place. Holy cow. And how would I light this? Well, we're on the 48th floor, so you know who's going to light this. The big man himself.
Yeah.
or, you know, coming up with creative solutions, or, you know, we've done some wild things in buildings, you know, where you're running power up the stairwell, you know, 40 floors, or tapping into the building's electrical panel with like tie-ins and running out 100 amps to power a 10K. Seeing all that. And so one of the greatest things about being born at the time and being in the business at that time is I saw that stuff. I saw these incredible rigs, incredible lighting approaches. I worked on a show called The Untouchables.
I remember that show.
There was a TV series. And but anyway, just seeing, we would always film in these majestic period Chicago landmarks, you know, marble and gold and beautiful places, and we would light them cinematically and transform them. They already looked beautiful, and then we did that to that, and seeing that and understanding how all that works was like a kid in a candy store, like going, wow. Bouncing light. I'm gonna bounce light all the time now.
Right. Yeah. No, I remember that though, because you would, you know, as a kid, you'd watch movies, and then you get a video camera, or I would use my dad's, and you're like, how do they make it look like that? And I remember being on set with you and being like, oh my God, it's an HMI and
fill light,
and a
color
piece of styrofoam.
Yeah,
That's it.
You've got that at Home Depot,
and it looks
and broke it. I had to break it to get it to.
It looks amazing, you know. And when you see that, I'd be lying if I didn't say I experienced that. Where you're like, oh, but the other beautiful thing of that art is you're always trying to. You never feel like you arrive, right? You're always learning new tricks. You're always learning new things.
Yeah. And
I think that's important to thrive, is to always be tinkering and always be learning what's going to work best. Maybe this, maybe this. I mean, this room, I did that, you know, where it was like, oh, that's too big of a light. You know, the ceilings are so low. Oh, I could tear the ceiling. No, well, maybe we could do this. Oh, I want a light shadow side. Like, who cares? Nobody's watching this anyways, but to me, that's an exercise.
Dude, we're big time.
Creativity.
We got a podcast now. So, and by the way, this is a job interview to be your sidekick.
Yeah.
So when you want to really grill somebody here, I'll just sit back, you stare, and I just add like the commentary, and then I get a button I can press. Like I can press some sound effects.
I was actually talking to Owen about having him live switch it, so then I wouldn't have to edit.
Oh yeah. Well, can't you have AI edit it eventually?
You know, we
probably like next month. Yeah.
Have been
for
using
a Bitcoin.
No, I've been using it. There's this one called Autopod. It came up on the last podcast, and it is enabling me to actually do this with very little help. Do this podcast,
man. San Francisco.
But as an editor,
of course,
it's a little scary. But man, what a great tool! Because a 3-camera shoot would take a week, you know, and it does it quite well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, teach me that.
I'll show it to you. It's pretty
editing a reel. I don't know. It's that's my life.
No. You know, I just, you know, AI is a hot topic, but I just see it as like another tool, you know.
You totally captured like the AI vibe in here with all the vintage photography equipment.
That's a great point, because this is probably I don't know, maybe I like old things, and it was all in my basement, and Sarah was like, I need you to get this out of here.
Yeah.
But it is a good point, because I think, me personally, I do see the stuff that's coming out with AI, and I personally think that there will be this resurgence of texture, metaphorically. That's why I'm excited about really focusing on documentary filmmaking, because the human story is never going to go away, and the texture of that is a beautiful thing that I'm betting the farm on. So it's like, let's go the opposite way. Let's also learn those tools that are there and available that make my job easier and allow me to run a company with very little infrastructure. That's how I see it, is like, let's do this, you know.
Definitely.
Speaking of weird computer things. I have recently been obsessed with systems. My company is growing, and I've always been like, it's creative, man. Like, you can't systemize creativity.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
So again, I'm reading The War of Art again, so I have several quotes from Stephen Pressfield, but he says he says this about systems. He says, time is the raw material of creation. Wipe away the magic and myth of creating, and all that remains is work. The work of becoming an expert through study and practice. So for as long as I've known you, you're like the hardest working guy I know. This is probably torture for you to sit still this long. But I watched as your company grew, and it's morphed over the years. You're really good at systems. You know, we've talked many a time at a bar talking about billing, pricing.
Yeah.
How important are systems?
It's kind of all I think about all the time. It's kind of what I focus on all the time.
And maybe explain, like, you have a giant system just within your warehouse. Like,
yeah.
How big is your warehouse?
Well, 4,800 square feet. Yeah.
And you have
and containers. Yeah.
Everything you could possibly need to make a movie.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So what does the system look like in that?
Yeah. It's by crate, by case, by cart. And I kind of designed all the carts so that each one solves a specific problem or assists in a certain way. So wheels, like whoever invented the wheel, thank you. However, I recently got this awesome tool. Looks like a DeWalt drill or like a hand drill, but it's a tire inflator. Because I probably have 300 inflatable pneumatic tires all over the shop, and I'm like, oh my god,
good thing you're close to Farm and Fleet.
Well, that's the other thing. They're all getting to become an age now where they're rotting and breaking and just need to be filled up before you send them out on a job. And I was like, oh my god. But every cart, that's really how I figured this out. I'm like, oh, every cart is a module that fits into this truck and solves a problem. So this is the camera cart, this is the battery cart, this is the sound cart, this is the car rigging cart, this is the electrical cart. And then each one of those can be broken down or scaled or duplicated. So and that's kind of what we built, was just like the exact same thing over and over again. But then the parts were kind of interchangeable, or the specialized parts had a spot and could fit in. And
I feel like production guys would be great in a doomsday situation.
Yeah, or crossing I think of us more like crossing the Great Plains, or like the frontier. Like, all right, well, what do we got? Well, we got grass, we got water.
Yeah,
can't drink
because
water.
your truck has got to be ready for any situation.
Yeah, being versatile. So that was really kind of what we were talking about before, was that, what I always see Second Cine as is a solution to a problem. And so the problem is a producer gets this gig and lands in Chicago and doesn't know anybody and needs help. And so, I could just sit here and quote you like the cost of a sandbag, or I can just help you. So I've always looked at it as like, well, why don't you just tell me what you need and I can tell you what I got, and we can figure out what works. And that's always been my approach. I always joke around that Second Cine got its name from like everybody's second call. And in a way it was like, if you got the gig, you call your director and then you call Tom and he'll figure it out. We'll get the job done. Because everybody needs the things that I got on the truck, and you need them, and I'll bring them, and I know how to use them, and we'll set them up, and you're going to be happy. Ultimately, that's really the end of I think everyone in business's bottom line is like, at the end of the day, are you happy? Did we do it? We get everything? Let's go. Cool.
Yeah.
Cheers.
That was early on. That was a hard transition for me to let go of that. But when I let go of that and let somebody who's better than me at that worry about it, I was able to focus on the role of a producer for real. You know, the role of a director. I'm often wearing those two hats, right? Because you cannot be worried about if focus.
Right. Or the white balance and the.
You can pull a lot off as a one man.
Is it
band.
23.98 or is it 24 or is it 25 or is it 60 hertz or 50 hertz?
Yep.
Yeah.
So as a producer to just show up and know that everything's taken care of, or especially now when I travel and I'm not carrying a Pelican case, it's a beautiful thing for me.
Right.
You know, and so I appreciate the craft of that systemized approach to you have everything that you need when shit hits the fan, you know, and that helps me be more creative.
Yeah.
It helps me be a better producer, a better director.
The real secret to that whole system is that little plastic box with that says like survival kit, and it just has a bunch of spare screws and washers and like Velcro strips. Like that is like the magical box that you like puts you at ease, because you're like, all right, I know Tom's got that box of camera screws.
Yeah, I've got one out there still.
Yeah.
And so do you think it's possible to systemize a creative business?
Well, yeah. Creative business is about time management. So it's about, which like that's sounds like a luxury. Like on the production side, we don't have time management. It's not ours to manage. We just like kind of show up and finish. Everything in between is not really in our control. However, a creative business, I think you just time manage your day and you figure out chunks, and you have to be in tune with kind of your own flow and your own body and your mind, and you have to kind of like know how to schedule yourself and then have the discipline to follow it. And I do like one of the earliest things I did in Google Calendars. Man, what an awesome app Google Calendars is. Thanks, Google, for the calendar. But what I love about it is like I could just set a theme for the month, right? Mm-hmm. So I just create like an event that starts on January 1st, right? And like maybe it's like taxes and marketing, right? And then on my calendar every day through January, I see a line that says taxes and marketing. Why? Well, because you got to finish your taxes. The year just ended and it's slow, so focus on marketing. And everything's here, and so you can do inventory. So maybe that's another subcategory, or maybe that starts on the 15th. And inventory starts on the 1st. So for the 1st to the 15th, it's just inventory. Just check everything out, make sure all the cases are cool. Mm-hmm. Then, so the whole year is broken into these little segmented ideas, but they're kind of like on a bigger scale. They're just daily reminders of what to think about or what to focus on that month or that week or that day. Besides all the things that are just in a regular calendar, it's just kind of an overall theme. But then the important thing is I have like 13 or 15 themes. So it was simple as like building, safety, fire, security, grip department, basically real generalized, like just focus on all the grip stuff and make sure that everything's oiled and works and not missing a screw. Same with every department. But then, philosophical ideas too, creative, like October, I always think the lighting is just so perfect all month long. So I always feel like you always got to be shooting like every day of October. So be selfish and shoot stuff for yourself in October. So you got a down day, fine, whip out the truck and put it in a sparkling puddle and shoot a reflection and give yourself
I like that
a
drone
reward.
stuff you were doing. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the other thing is through that kind of time management discipline, I've also figured out how to like kind of like play the drums every day for 10 minutes and get my drone out twice a month and just shoot stuff just for me. And then, yeah, the pain in the ass of having to like then catalog it and edit it down to one shot. Like that's kind of where I need more help, or just obviously it's the production bottleneck of our industry is managing all that footage and doing something with it.
It's something that I'm trying to systemize as a business right now is, I jumped in on an edit, took 2 days.
Full days. Yeah.
2 full days into the, I still,
that's
edit
like, so that's
late
like
at night.
at 3 hours a day. So that's 6 whole hours.
No, it was longer than that.
I know you editors.
Yeah, right.
I gotta go get a water from the water.
Well,
cooler.
it took 24 hours of procrastinating to,
yeah.
to
24
actually,
hours of doom scrolling before I figured out what my idea was. Yeah.
24 hours of being on TikTok thinking I suck and I should quit. And then once I edited it, it took 20 minutes.
See, again, we have so much to talk about in that inner voice that everyone is, if you're somewhat humble or modest, you have that voice that tells you suck.
That's my resistance. Always.
I didn't get that job because I'm like, and then the voice and the things that you can say to yourself is sometimes if you heard it, if you recorded it and played it back out loud in a room, you would be ashamed of yourself, like talking to yourself like that. So that inner voice is super important to work with and take time and understand, because it's just not real. None of it. It's all something else, but it's not that. And you just got to ignore it and actually learn to hear it, first of all, like, oh, I'm doing it. Boom, cut that out and say something 100% positive, just like, fucking no, you crushed that. You're the best.
Yeah.
And then think about something real for a second, because you're wasting your own time thinking those thoughts. It's all, and you're just going to, and we're beautiful people, man.
100%. Yeah. And I
haven't met one that isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you also overcome that through action. When I'm feeling that way, if I just get up, go for a walk, or build a shelf.
Yeah.
That's my trick, is like, I'm going to build something.
Yeah.
And then,
well, in a way it's idle hands doing the devil's work. So what you're saying, build something, make something. Yeah, of course. Because that's the happy spot, is like, the drug is, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I am here and I'm present. I'm doing it right now, and I am got my hands ready to get dirty, and I'm sure as hell gonna outwork everybody in the room. Yeah.
Tinkering is my drug. I love it.
Dude, you know what? So that's just kind of a new revelation for me, is like, spend some time tinkering.
Mm-hmm.
You think Edison tinkered?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know though.
100%.
And like even actors, like Second Cine is basically like dudes tinkering with characters, and ladies, and great chefs tinker. I like tinkering is kind of the magical space to be. Why not? Like I almost like, that's my focus. Now you have to pay me to distract me from that, because I'd rather get back to my tinkering right now. And I'm 100% supportive of my own tinkering now. I don't feel guilty about it. And since that idea, I'm so much more productive. Like all the projects I'm finally completing, and now we've just turned this into like a whole ADHD kind of like therapy session.
Right.
But honestly, being like fuck, I built this tinker space. This is my tinker home. I'm kicking ass in here because I got everything I need, and it's always right where I left it.
Yeah.
And
That's why I have a workbench everywhere. I have one here.
Man, workbenches.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet the genius who came up with the idea of a workbench. Right? I mean, that's like
you
my
seen
home, that's like my golden.
My rolling workbenches out there.
Yeah. No, you got a good setup.
Those Husky ones are the shit.
Actually, I've totally now my main photography bench is one of those.
Yeah, I love them.
And I have 3 of them, but they've been desks, like
Yeah.
you know. And I'm like, no, time to get this thing where it belongs, out in the garage, in the shop. And now I have like this cool like in the drawers and the crank. Thanks, Husky. Yeah. Oh, we should start. You know, we should get sponsors.
They should sponsor the podcast.
We can, Google. If we can get Google to sponsor us,
Yeah.
Because I think the calendar
Yeah, that's true.
and now Husky,
Dude,
Home Depot.
I mean, if I were to pick one, it'd be the Husky workbenches.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here.
we
5
should
of
do
them.
some Husky
I have-
workbench porn, like where it's just
Yes.
like sexy shots.
these
of
workbenches,
Husky.
They're
workbenches.
like kind of like a standing desk, but with a hand crank, and they
Yeah.
go up and down,
Yeah.
and they're on wheels. My wife's floral business, I bought 3 for that.
Oh yeah.
I have an office at home.
and they're stylish and sexy.
I've got 2 of them there.
Have you ever refinished one? Have you ever damaged the top so bad
No,
you had to
I
refinish
found
it?
on a fluke they made one in a dark finish, and that one's at my house. It's fancy. And then I should have bought it. They made one with an electric
Up and downer.
up and down and a wider footprint, because the one I have at home, I actually bought a kitchen tabletop from IKEA because I needed a wider footprint for my
Surface.
screen
Yeah.
for editing.
Oh,
I
okay.
just needed the screen farther away, you know. And oh man, those things are like, if there was a tool in my toolbox that I use the most, it's that thing. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Your point about tinkering is interesting to me, because for a really, really long time, if there's something I'm passionate about, it is tinkering. Like, I love building anything,
Yeah.
working with my hands, building a shelf, you know, decking this thing out. It's just like my favorite thing. I think a lot of times though, what drives me nuts about like productivity books, because I read a lot of that stuff, and a lot of stuff you see on YouTube, it's all about output. But I'm like in this camp now where it's like, no, sometimes when you're trying to solve a problem, the best thing for you to do is to not think about it, is to walk away, go do something else.
Yeah. Find inspiration.
I was coming up with a strategy for a client for the whole year, and I was freaking out. Like, how do I top what we did last year? Because it was good. And it's like, I think for 3 weeks, I tinkered because I just couldn't. But the whole time I'm tinkering, I'm like, well, what about this? I'm like, I have 2 conversations going.
It's almost like wage theft, because they're stealing your mind for that whole time.
Yeah.
You know, maybe your hands are doing something else, but you're thinking about that client and their business and your business, and so your mind is actually being like, if you average it out, you're probably getting paid like 67 cents an hour, because your brain is on that idea the whole time.
If that.
Yeah, right. But though, I mean, that's fun, and so yeah, whatever
like
whatever
the
your
amount
therapy
of
is.
problems I solved mentally while building this
Yeah, that's a nice
this
rig.
rig
For the people at home. I'm very impressed with this rig.
was great, you know? And I think it's a good thing to also practice, like, okay, I have this idea, because my business is ideas, you know. As an ad agency, you have to come up with ideas on demand. You have to write a script on demand. You're just an on-demand creative. And this book I read, The Idea Machine by James Altucher, talks about, well, if you want to exercise that muscle all the time, you got to work it out. So when you go to a restaurant, jot down ideas of how you'd make that restaurant better, which I've done. And when you're looking at gear, how would I make this better? How would I do this? But like, even building this out, it's like I drew it out on a piece of paper, took measurements, made a plan, and and then executed on the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's this exercise in solving a problem, because
Filmmaking
like you
is
said,
100%
we're in the business of
problem-solving.
solving problems,
Yeah.
right? Now, Sarah says often that I'm a problem solver, and sometimes I make problems when there aren't any. But it's in my nature.
Right.
You know?
Well, whatever she says, she's 100% right.
1,000%.
And I just have total respect for that woman and her mind, yes.
I can't wait for you to see her episode. It was really good. If you haven't,
I can't wait to see
it's
that
gonna be
either.
good. So speaking of business, you and I have also experienced a lot of fun client interaction.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
And often when we go out to a bar, we'll swap. Those are our war stories often, and we laugh.
You have great ones. Your stories always kind of are.
I am very lucky. I have some unicorns that I protect.
I
with
like.
everything,
Oh my God! How'd you do it, Corbin?
So my question isn't about that. My question is, have you worked with a great agency, and what does that relationship look like? And what do you think it takes to make a good creative collaborative relationship, specifically in the agency world?
Yeah, good question. So I have had a lot of great agency clients and great agency people around on set, and I feel they're, in a way they're kind of like, it's their baby and they're passing it and like letting you play with it. And they have a lot of knowledge and a lot of care and understanding of what the sensitivities are that there's always. So every situation or every client relationship or and even with their clients, they're kind of like they're there to help, I think, is the main thing. They want to help. They want to be involved and
Or sometimes they just don't want to get fired.
Yeah, I mean they're true. Like read the room. You have to kind of have a feel for that, those sensitivities and understandings of what's going on. But anyway, that's really the bottom line. Is the best ones are always there to help, and they're there to also keep it cool and have a mellow vibe and trust. That's basically where all that stems from, is trust. Every time you're in a cool situation, it's because there's a lot of trust going on. Whenever you're in a tense, nervous, screaming situation, all the trust is gone, and who's got it? So being able to, man, there have been a few times I've just been cool under fire and like, hey, why don't we try this? You put on your best Matthew McConaughey and you try to just be as cool as shit. And you're just like, I know what's going to work. Let's do this. And sometimes that's what people are looking for too, is just a leader, group dynamics. Every group and every situation and every business has group dynamics, and everyone has to kind of figure out who the asshole in the room is. And if you don't know, it's probably you.
Crap.
Yeah. So that's a great saying. If anything about this business that I really truly love, it's the ability to have one-liners like that, or you just have some gunslinging kind of shit, just of smart ass memes before they were memes.
Yeah.
That's where the business I came up in, where guys talked in memes, but no one knew what the hell a meme was because they haven't been invented yet.
I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. I have a new thing that I do now. I go, all right, guys, we got to do one more. This is a client take, which everyone knows we're not going to use it. And sometimes they like to play director for the day, and that's fine. They're paying the bills.
So Make-A-Wish, we're just basically Make-A-Wish and actors.
Yeah, and I had a crew guy recently that was real upset by that, and I was like, dude, this is paying your paycheck, man, and go do your art elsewhere. You're here to do a job. You're here to bust some ass.
Show business.
It's like, but you're right. Most of what I spend my time in is building that trust. It's like the art of trust, which is a commercial you and I did for Swedes. For the hospital.
God.
The art of trust. I wrote that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
See, that stuck with me all this time.
Their slogan was "Trust the best," and I was like, "Oh, we should." And we made like
The collage.
the art of trust.
Yeah.
Those are. I miss those. 30
Good
second.
wordplay. That's some copywriting right there, brother. Good job.
I miss those hospital commercials.
All right. If any hospitals in Rockford need media, we are right down the road.
I remember
Gunslingers.
the
100 doctors in the hallway. Remember that one?
so first
Get 100 doctors together, put them in the bridge.
for some
Light the
godforsaken
bridge.
reason, I decided I like running a camera, but I'm going to be a director.
That's perfect.
And it was partially your encouragement. You were like, "You're a director, dude." Yeah. And so I was like, I got the opportunity to pitch this commercial for a hospital. And prior to that, it was like I was doing furniture commercials. Remember Ingratia?
Dude, we gave
Yeah.
Ingratia some great looking
Did
furniture
$500
stuff.
for 3 spots.
Don't
a
tell
month.
anybody those numbers. That's a buried secret.
I think they're out of business now.
Yeah, but we can't let anyone know we worked for that back then. Oh my
Bro, that
god,
was 20 years ago. Like,
true.
$500 at that
That was a
time,
mortgage payment.
$500 a month was
Yeah.
like, it was like, wow, every month. And then 2 years later, I was like, they are definitely getting the better end of the deal. on this, you know?
But that's great
Yeah.
experience. Thank you.
So
Ingratia.
I booked that with an agency. They hired me to direct that and produce that, and I got the numbers.
Yeah.
And I called you and I was like,
Spreadsheet.
bro, I don't even know what to do with this much money. You were like, all right, we can do a dolly. I'll get you a makeup artist. Like,
Yeah.
we went to town and
Yeah.
then we
did get a dolly.
So
that was
we-
helpful in a hospital. Oh my God.
Oh, it was
We'll
great.
see the system
Yeah.
of the dolly.
and then
Very attractive.
so
to
the
that
plan
system.
was to film 100 doctors. 100, so many doctors.
It was all of them.
in front of this.
Nobody was
glorious-
getting medical care in Rockford
No.
that day.
It was all of them, and it was. We were
And
gonna,
super slow motion, super slow
Yep.
motion. 240 frames or something we were doing.
yeah, or
'Cause-
120.
Was
it was a
120?
red one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Which
lights,
was-
the HMIs, it
Yeah.
was kind of raining and windy.
Well, no, the reason we shot it where we did is we were supposed to shoot it in front of that fountain,
Oh, right.
and it started raining,
Yeah.
and the president, Dr. Gorski, the president of Swedes, pulls me into his office, and he's like, "Do you know how much money this commercial is costing me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm aware." He goes, "No, there's 100 doctors about to show up here. That's costing this hospital an enormous amount of money." So, because I was trying to reschedule it,
Wow.
and they were like, "You're fucking shooting that commercial."
Wow.
So you better find a
I really
place.
didn't know that was
So
all going on.
me and the marketing person from Swedes ran around the hospital, and I just was like, whew, talk about tolerance and uncertainty.
Oh, yeah.
So we were running around. We ran by the morgue. We were just running around that whole maze.
I mean, a hospital is not that big, dude.
and he's like, what about this conference room? No, I'm just kidding. That's what everybody always says. Why don't we shoot it in the conference room?
Oh, how about? Oh, don't worry, they got a conference room for you.
That's
oh, really?
If you write a book about
I love to-
cinematography, it'll be how to light a shitty conference room.
I wish I just had a photo of every conference room I've ever shot in. That book would be like this thick.
It's tough. I mean, we're
But
in one.
we're in
right
one
now.
right now, actually. Yeah,
Made
who
it
cares?
work.
You get friendly with them.
Yeah.
You figure them out.
So then we go to this like walkway bridge.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think we can do it here. So I was like, Tom, do you think we can get those HMIs? And it was on the second story.
We were there on the top of their stands in a rainy, windy, with bags on them and whatever the cones. Thank God we had Louis and
Yeah.
who else? There was someone else.
A
Couple, Katrina,
Jake Bing was there.
Jake Bing. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a handful.
It was
of
a good-
people. It was
yeah.
a good crew.
I do remember I told this story on the last podcast, but the makeup artist pissed me off. And you so much advice you gave me back then. She was late, and I was like, what do I do? And then she was kind of she was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm Corbin, I'm the director.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I've never
You
heard
look
of
like
you.
you're 16.
And I go, Tom, what do I do? And you go, you need to establish dominance immediately. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm on set, I'm like the nicest guy. I'll say to the grip, what do you think?
I was fucking with you so much back then. I'm
So
sorry.
I did. I was like, all right, I'm in charge. So I asked her to tape my shirt shut on the button up. And I said, I need this shirt to stay just like this all day. And she looked at me and I was like, do you have double-sided tape? And I was like, I need you to pay attention to this all day or you're fired.
God damn, dude.
So I was the asshole in the
I
room.
wonder who she was. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
Anyway.
God, that was 2007, maybe? 2006?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, baby.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow. That was a great shoot, though. It really did look great. It was a great problem solve. We put that camera super high. I think we were scraping the top of the ceiling and under the exit sign because we had to be dead centered, and that exit sign was dead centered.
Yeah.
And we had 8 feet of track or something, but it was just enough to move. And they stepped out, and we had that big white silk at the end of the tunnel. We blasted that with our other light because we brought 3, I think.
Yeah.
And that was half the budget right there, 3 HMIs. And then it worked out. It really worked. It did.
I'm proud of that to this day.
Yeah.
All those commercials we did for
they
them
look
were
great. And we had that long zoom on there, that HR 25 to 250, the Hengenu. Put that at full clunk.
Oh, yeah.
And had those doctors. And then focus. Who was pulling focus? Was that Bing?
Might have been Bing.
God.
Was Bing on there? Or Christian, maybe? No, Christian would have.
I wonder if we had it. There was
I
some
don't
photo
remember. I was
somewhere.
so
Oh, I know. It's like a blur.
client. I gotta
Yeah,
meet the
you were
client,
running
the
around
agency.
the whole hospital trying to find a bridge.
That was.
Yeah,
That was
that would I could
stressful.
be panicked about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Every doctor did look really good too. Their makeup all looked really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever that
She
makeup
probably was
artist
scared.
is, I know we gotta.
She
send
probably
her-
tells that story. This motherfucker.
This guy from Rockford. Who does he think he is?
Had me-
Cheap Trick.
Had me tape up his short sleeve button up shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
That's a great story.
So much of what we do is in the unknown. And I have this other quote. I love books and quotes, but if Rick Rubin's book, The Creative Act, you should read it. You would absolutely love it.
What is book?
It's this thing I listen to.
Oh,
I don't read, I listen.
fair enough.
While I'm tinkering.
I could do that. Oh, that's a good idea.
We're talking about the unknown, and pushing into the unknown is a huge part of what we do, right? And so in his book, Rick Rubin, he says this: doubt is a natural part of the process. It's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're pushing into the unknown, which is where the magic happens. So for you, when you push into the unknown, have you found that the magic happens?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Actually, every time. And it's probably something like, do people even going to understand what we're talking about? Because it's such an abstract thing you're talking about. But I mean, for me, these problem solving, the creativity of the problem solve is not just for hire. It's for all day. It's like this part of, it's all around. It's like the kids clogged up the sink. The wife's, remote control doesn't work anymore. It's all, there's so many things of being a homeowner, being just having a car, being alive and functioning in technology. All that's around us is just a billion problems. And then, so which one am I going to work on? How am I going to get there? What needs to be, and then the best part is, yeah, that would fix it, but this would make it awesome. So going from that, this is good, to this is wow, is somewhere in there is where I like to stay pretty much all day. Now there's a ramp up, and there's getting there, you need the parts and pieces. So having a studio, Michelangelo have a studio? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure. Of course he fucking did.
Yeah.
Because like
Right.
everybody who's made anything has had a studio, or Steve Jobs has his garage, whatever. Having the parts and pieces all around you and having the tools that you've collected through the years accessible and in good working order and right where you think they are is part of that too. So there's a lot of prep work. There's a lot of already been done. It looks easy because for 30 years I finally got the right tap and die set. You know what I mean? How did you do that? Oh, because I have a set of Allen wrenches, T-handles, in the side pocket of that bag, and it's always there, and they're all there, and they're mine. So there's tricks to the trade. Every trade, and this is true for every trade and every business, and even if it's just talking to people, like in sales, if it's just coming up with ideas, like in marketing and advertising, it's all the same stuff. What do you need? Paper clips, tacks, magnets, art on the wall to inspire you, a trip to Venice to inspire you. Then let's do it. Let's go, because that's what it takes. So a lot of, I think, my tinkering, you and I are tinkering more in the in the physical plane, but that's what gets us to the metaphysical plane, because then when we're in this comfort space, our brains are free and traveling.
David Lynch talks about this. I've been rewatching his master class, and he just died. And he said, if you're an artist, you got to have a space to do art. Yeah. But I would also add, and I'll close on this, that my space is close to a bar, which is even better. Well, thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
The Makers and Misfits podcast.